Welcome back to Just Here with Dr. J, and I am your host, Dr. J. Barnett. Listen, some of y'all been kind of eavesdropping on the episodes, but I want to encourage you to go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube link, Just Here with Dr. J. You can listen audibly on Spotify, the Black Effect Podcast Network, and iHeart Podcast Network as well. We are doing some amazing things over here in the healing community where we are bringing enlightenment. We're bringing conversations that is really provoking change, those that are on a healing journey. And more importantly, we want to continue to support you wherever you are in your mental health. And remember, your mental health will determine the quality of your life.
I love you, Lord.
Let me tell you a love story.
Oh, your mercy never fails me.
I'm Ruth.
Nice to meet you, Ruth.
My days, I've been held in your hand.
But finding true love is one of God's greatest wonders.
Moment that I wake up until I lay my head. Oh,
I just feel like God is leading me somewhere else.
of the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful, and all my life you have been so
Just found out you moved back.
so good. With every breath that I am in,
Love is all that matters, Ruth.
oh, I will sing.
Don't miss out for fear of losing.
Sing of the goodness.
It was the miracle of you that made this happen.
Sing of the goodness.
Where you go, I go.
Of God.
God is love. And love always wins.
All right, so today I am excited to have a brother of mine. Listen, I met this brother many years ago, and we were talking about it on a live that we did for his one-man show, but I'm excited to have him to share of his new film, Ruth and Boaz. This film, I believe, I had the opportunity to watch it. I believe for you ladies, it's going to provide a lot of hope. So DeVon had y'all in mind. But anyway, without further ado, I want to welcome my brother and friend, filmmaker DeVon Franklin. How are you doing, brother?
Good, man. Thank you. You said the lady. What about the men?
Listen, brothers, I will say, brothers, if you have this type of journey, I will see you at the altar.
Okay.
I felt encouraged.
Okay. That's
I
good.
felt encouraged on my single journey, man. I said, listen, I know I'm a Boaz, man. I know I got some things in me, man, that I would be open to share with my Ruth.
There it is.
So, man, thank you, brother, for joining the healing community, man. Just Here with Dr. J, man. This platform and this space is for conversations that provide healing and conversations that allow people to share their journey. And I think what you did with this film is so much healing, man, all over this film, man. So my first question to you is I ask every guest, because my background is a therapist, how are you feeling just in this moment?
Nah, feeling good. You know what I mean? Feeling good, man. Feeling peace. Thank you. I feel it.
Yeah, I can tell, man. I got to ask you, what is your secret?
Oh, man. You know what? The secret, honestly, is embracing the moment.
Yeah.
Right? Like really just saying, okay, this is where I am and being okay with it. You know, that inner, being settled on the inside, like that is the thing that really helps me, feel better, right? It's like, okay, I'm dealing with different things and different challenges at work and, productions and stuff. And it's like, okay, like it's all right. This is where we are. This is how we're going to move forward. But being centered in that peace is what really helps me kind of keep a baseline. Doesn't mean that every moment is like, I'm feeling great,
Right.
but the baseline of like, okay, this is happening. All right. So, all right, it's happening. Let me figure out what my response is to it. And that just keeps me grounded. And then also having the right woman in my life. I mean, certainly, my wife, I mean, my goodness. I mean, we talk about a partner, bro. Like, it just is like, no matter what I'm dealing with, knowing I have her, man, I'm good.
So what I hear, two things what I hear you saying, brother, is for one, always be where your feet are planted.
Amen. Yeah.
I think we don't realize how much that can minimize anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Because anxiety is being here and wanting to be there.
There you go.
You know,
Yeah.
and I love that, being where your feet are planted and then just embracing the moment.
Yeah.
And then partnership.
Mm-hmm.
And for a lot of brothers, I have a lot of men that follow my work, you know, my background, being a pro athlete. And men are really interested on what does life look like with the right partner.
Mm.
And as you just talk about, you know, having your wife and having that, how important is that, man? Particularly in the space that you're in as a creative.
Yeah, man. Listen, I find it vitally important, you know, having the right partner. And then I think as a man, you know, a lot of times we're conditioned to believe that, oh, well, you know, settling down, you know, is a problem, you know, and we're conditioned to be like, to think that the more, the better. But in my experience, you know, the more, the chaos. Okay. You know, it's like, and then so what happens is when you buy into that philosophy as a man, okay, well, the more women I have, you know, the better off I'll be. Then no, we just become better chaos managers. You know?
That's good. Hey, you brothers, listen. Y'all brothers out here, y'all hopping on these poly trains, man. Y'all better hear this, brother.
So for me, you know, as a man, you know, finding the right partner, you know, what happens is on the inside, there's that peace because I'm committing my life to her and she's committing her life to me. And we create space and keep space for one another in that.
That's good.
So because of that, there's peace. Right. And having that right partner who, you know, has your back, who you can talk to, who you can talk with, who respects you and you respect them. For us as men, I believe that it is a game changer because it is very easy on some level in terms of emotionally. It's very easy to manage more than one, right?
Yeah.
Because emotionally, you don't ever have to do the work.
No, you don't.
But when you're with one, you got to dig in and do the work. And when you're with the right partner, that work is worthwhile.
Man, brother, that's a book. That's a book.
Is that right?
That is a book, man, because I think, DeVon, you know, and for men like us, right, that we've achieved, and you see a lot of men, particularly for Black brothers, that when we achieve success, and if you came from nothing, there is this notion that I have to get it all.
Yeah.
And getting it all is that I got to have more. And what I'm hearing from you is making that decision to choose. It's not only settling your life, but it's also allowing you to settle into the peace of what a covenant relationship would do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it settles you into peace and it also settles you into purpose. Because, I mean, listen, you know how it is when you're dating, okay, and you're trying to, you know, figure it out. What happens is you spend a lot of time, energy, money, you know, going with this one or doing that with that one and this and that. And that, think about all the energy and time and money spent to managing. That's why I'm talking about it's chaos management.
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting. And think about if you had all of that time and energy and money, not only to pour into one person, but to also pour into your purpose. Think about the progress. Think about the impact. And so it's very important. Every man has to choose their own path, you know, but for me, you know, going through my season of single and, you know, really trying to figure it out, you know, being able to, you know, have received, you know, my wife and to be able to then start to build, you know, a life with her, it has been, you know, a phenomenal game changer for me.
Man, that's so amazing, brother. As you were talking, my thought is, what stands out to you, you know, as you came out of the singleness and then you said, man, I want to choose her. What was the thing, if you can give me like two things that stood out to you? Because brothers, you know, that are married, I'm always asking them, what was it about her?
Yeah.
You know, because when we choose, what women don't realize, man, when we choose, we're choosing according to something about you that has pulled our heart. Because you may, you know, I have to tell these, you know, a lot of single ladies, you may get his body. And that's what y'all doing. But when you grab a man's heart, and you shift that heart to where he said, I'm going to choose you, man, that's you've done a number on him. So what was it about your wife, man, that made you say, man, it's her?
You know, it was really her nurturing spirit. And it's just, it's a hard thing to describe, but, you know, she is such a loving, person. And, from the time that I was young, I'm the middle child of 3 boys, and my father died of a heart attack when he was 36. And so my mother, raised us, pretty much on her own with the help of my grandmother's 7 sisters. But growing up, we were in survival mode a lot of the time, right? Make sure food was on the table and clothes on our back, get to school and all those things, and keep a roof over, our heads. That's how we were. And so, a part of me, didn't necessarily feel nurtured. And so when I met Maria, her disposition to me was, I see that inner child in you,
Yeah.
and I want to hug that.
Oh, come on, brother. Come on, brother. You talking my talk.
And, I mean, this is what she says to me. I see him and I want to hold him. I will let him know he's okay.
Oh,
So, man, when she talking like that, I'm like, all right, we good. Well, let's say, hey, will you marry me? It's like, all right, let's go, because I ain't had that. You know what I mean?
man.
That really spoke to me on a deep level. And then what that does is it produces a peace
Yes.
that I'm with someone that is not about performing, or it's about how much I got or what I know. It's about like, oh no, this person sees me.
Yes.
And loves me and wants to care for me on the deepest level. And then what happens as men, when we find that, then it's like, yo, I'll give you the world. Like, whatever you need, like, don't even think about it. Before you even speak it, it's done, because you're giving me what I need, and I can't find that in anybody else.
Y'all better pick up these gems, this is brother. Listen, what I love about what you shared, CJ, my producer, we talk about relationships all the time. And one of the things that I say, bro, I don't know how many women can really identify the little boy in the man that needs to be hugged. Because when you're raised on survival, like you were, I was raised on survival. I'm the oldest of 3. And when you're raised on survival, on surviving, you don't have an understanding of how to receive. Because everything is about, how do I make it through this day?
That's right.
And when you think about making it through this day, you think about, okay, how do I show up?
Mm-hmm.
And when you're showing up, it's often performative.
Absolutely.
So I'm usually looking for,
Yep.
that stops. I'm like, well, I don't know what was happening, because I've been taught and even shaped socially, environmental, that if you don't do anything, no one is going to clap for you. So we now begin to think that everything about our existence has to be about receiving the praise and receiving the applause. And what I'm hearing from you is that you saw an audience that said, I'll clap if you do nothing.
Yes, exactly. 1000%. I'm clapping just because of who you are.
Just because of who you are.
Period.
In fact, the little boy don't have to.
That's right.
You remember these little boys, especially if you had family over, we all wanted to go into the living room and put on a show.
Yep, exactly. Get those little dollars,
And what she's saying is, I just want the little boy to be held.
Exactly. And that is just...
How did that feel, man, for you when your little boy was acknowledged? What did that do for the man in you?
It provided deep healing, because I to your point, like, I talk about in the Be True, book, I talk about how I was an achievement addict. Right. And that achievement was to, there to, try to really fill that hole in my soul. And so to your point, like wanting the praise, wanting the accolades. And if those things weren't there, if the applause weren't there, at times I wouldn't feel, good about myself. And so getting to the place where I have a partner who says, I know what you do in the world, and all that's great. That's wonderful. And I'm proud of you. But you need to know that I accept you for you, not for what you do. And so that it created a peace, it created a healing, so much so that, like, as men, prior to, I think, finding the right partner and making the commitment to that partner, we don't realize how much turmoil our souls are in.
Man, talk about it, brother.
It's almost like there's an inner storm that we just get so used to, that inner tension, that inner frustration, that inner, like, because here's the thing. It's like, no matter how you navigate, singleness, especially if you're dating, it takes time and energy and effort. And then you wonder, okay, am I being my true self? And why am I engaging with these different women in this different way? So on the inside, there's a turmoil. There's an unsettling in the spirit. And so for me, when I found Maria, my spirit got settled. And there was a peace that then I can think, I can work, I can create from a place of peace. And it's something that is deeply hard to even articulate, but when you find it, it's what life is about. And the other thing I would say is that, as men, scripture says, husbands, Ephesians 5, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. And then the next command after that is he loved the church and then he gave everything for the church. So the idea that we as men, our disposition should be to give, and when we are with the right one, they don't take from us, they receive from us, and then they reciprocate to us.
Yes.
That's how you're with the right one, because there are a lot of people, that may want to take what you have to give. That just means they're not your person.
Right.
No, but as men, for me, with Maria, like it enhanced she enhanced the giver in me. That giver was like, oh, I mean, like, just, hey, that's what I'm here to do. Right. And in that dynamic of husband and wife, for me, it has been a game changer, and before we got together, like I wasn't necessarily looking, for marriage. I was open to love. And that's another thing as men.
Oh man,
We got to stay open to it because that love of that deep love of self, receiving that and having that in our life, it's what matters the most.
Man, brothers, I watched the movie, and as you're talking, I see you a lot in Ruth.
Deep. Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah. I see a lot of you in Ruth. And of course, we would say, oh, we see ourselves as Boaz.
Yeah.
But when you think about not having to do anything and Boaz just wanting to love her for her.
Yeah.
And before you answer that,
Yeah.
what was your inspiration behind modernizing that story biblically to bring it?
Yeah, the inspiration was just what I was going through personally. I was in a season of being single, and I was doing a sermon series on what it means to be single. And I think I was in the second or third installment of that series, and I was studying the book of Ruth. And as I was studying the book of Ruth, it was right around the same time that I was trying to figure out, like, okay, what's the next movie I'm going to make? And as I was studying the book of Ruth, I was like, wow, this, first of all, is really powerful because she doesn't go looking for love at all. As a matter of fact, she's kind of resigned that love's never going to happen for her. And she's committed to serving Naomi and to make sure that Naomi, the kind of mother-like figure in the story, is okay. So as a reward for her service and commitment, God blesses her with love. And I thought, wow, there's just so many themes here. And when you read it, it just reads like a movie. And so I said, wow. And I just said, has there ever been a movie version of this story? And I said, there's never been a modern one.
No.
And I thought, wow, what an opportunity to do a modern version of this story, to do it with people of color, to do it with us, to bring it to life like it's never been brought to life before. And as I was, working on the script with my two writers, Corey Tynan and Mike Elliott, we just were developing it and working on it. And the crazy part is, as we were developing it, my love story with Maria was developing. So it just was like working on this movie was healing for me.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I think if it's healing for me, not that I'm the end all be all as a litmus test, but I feel like if this story can move me, then it can move others. And I think any great movie, it's always going to come from someone involved in the creation of that film that has a personal connection to it.
Absolutely.
And so for this, the personal connection was, so often when we go through heartbreak or we go through heartache or you go through the tragedy that Ruth's experienced in the film, you tend to say, hey, you know what, maybe God's best is not available to me.
Yeah.
And so in this movie, when you see that, wait, all you have to do is keep your heart open, keep following that, that voice of God, keep pursuing service, and then the things that we need show up. And if love is one of those needs, then we can be guaranteed it'll show up. So for me, it was really healing to be able to produce this film and bring this film to life for those reasons.
Man, and when I tell you, you did a phenomenal job.
Thank you, man.
The characters, everyone, it was beautifully shot. It was beautifully written. I mean, the acting, I mean, everything, because I took off, I was looking for my clinical lens, but then I put on my thespian lens and all of this. And I'm going to tell you what stood out to me. What I loved about it is you showed grief in real time.
Yeah.
People of color don't grieve well. And I don't think we often realize that whether you have lost love, you have lost a loved one, you've lost a job, when you have to deal with grief, and one of my favorite quotes in the movie is that grief comes like an unexpected storm.
Yes. You can't see it
You
coming.
never see it coming. And I often have to tell clients is that grief is also the price we pay for love.
Amen. Yeah.
And what I loved about bringing that, because when we don't grieve well, we continue to sort of lament and loathe. And what'll happen is you'll find yourself not really dealing with it or sitting with it.
Yeah.
And what I loved about it is that even though Naomi had this difficult time of dealing with this grief, Ruth was allowing her to really sit in it
Yeah.
and not run from it
Yeah.
while she's running from something.
Yes. Yes. And that, but that's so powerful. I love what you're saying, because so often we don't take enough time to acknowledge the feelings we have around whatever losses we've endured in life.
Especially believers.
Absolutely. It's like, oh, God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. That's true. Okay. Those are true statements. And
Yeah.
it's okay to acknowledge, hey, I just got ran over.
Come on.
I mean,
Come on, bro.
it's okay to just acknowledge, hey, I'm hurting. Like you're not going to go into the hospital and someone, has just gone through a horrific accident and tell them to get up. That would be insensitive.
Exactly.
That would be unloving.
Yeah.
But that's what we do to ourselves.
Yes.
It's like, no, take the time. You gotta heal. Because if we don't take the time to grieve, which is part of the healing process,
Yes.
that whatever we're not healing, it's going to come out in ways that will be detrimental and potentially destructive.
Yep. Because just because you hide it doesn't mean it's not there.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
And I love how, the film also took Naomi back to the place
Yeah.
that she really had despised.
Yeah.
And sometimes God will take you back to places that you resent just to reveal who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Man,
I do.
bro, when I do, because I was looking at the film from so many different lenses. I've watched it 3 times already. And I was looking from it from so many, and I got something every single time.
Wow.
Because when I have worked with individuals who are going through grief counseling, man,
Yeah.
it's difficult, because if you lost a loved one, the anger, just the pain of them not returning.
Yeah.
And there's a part where she's talking about, they're not coming back. But I think what the film is going to do, DeVon, is that may be true. But what if what you lost was what was needed for you to gain? And I know that's difficult to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. And yet, I think that, when you're talking about life and you're talking about loss, having that perspective is actually a healing perspective.
Yeah.
Because if I don't have that perspective, if I don't believe the losses that I've endured are necessary for the gains that are yet to come, then what happens is I continue to mourn and look at life in the rear view and say, oh my goodness, if I hadn't lost whatever that may have been, then I wouldn't be here, or then my life wouldn't be this. And don't get me wrong, we have to acknowledge the loss. We have to, grieve the loss. Yet we also, for life, have to move on from the loss. And we have to open up our heart to whatever is yet to come. And so what you're saying is right, but it's a very, sophisticated, emotionally mature way to look at life, that anything that I have lost is actually setting me up for what I have yet to gain. And that, if I keep that mindset, it actually helps me get through things. Because if I don't have that mindset, then what's the point of living? what's the point of being here if I don't believe
Yeah.
that everything I've gone through serves a purpose
Right. Yeah.
for my good?
Yes.
Then it's going to be very hard for me to get up in the morning. So that perspective, I think, is phenomenal.
Man, it's going to be very, very, very hard. And also, was it your intention in the film that Boaz loss was also acknowledged?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, one, when you look at, what happened with his father and his parents, and then there's a moment in the movie, I won't ruin it,
Yeah.
where he experiences, loss. And again, like the thing about the right woman in your life
Come on.
is that when you go through loss, you have that support system. What did she do in that moment?
Yes.
She held him.
Yes.
And then in the moment, in the aftermath, she was the one in the midst of loss that had an optimistic point of view to say, hey, wait a minute. Maybe all is not lost. Maybe this is actually gain. So you need to, hey, babe, try this. And I'm not going to, you all got to watch the movie. Try
Yeah,
this.
go watch the film. Yeah.
And because of her encouragement, because of her seeing his dream and saying, no, you're looking at this wrong. Your dream is not denied. It's not deferred. Your dream is right now. Try it. And then come to find out that what he was working on became even better in what looked like loss. So the fire didn't destroy, it actually revealed.
Yeah.
And that would have never been the case if he didn't have the right woman in his life.
Yes. Man. Bro, let me tell you. Listen, I was in the gym, man, doing cardio, watching the film, and I just felt encouraged. Like, if one word that I can say from that just stood out, I felt encouraged. And we were talking about it, with the team, and I said, man, I really believe this film is going to provide a lot of hope.
Yeah.
There's there's a state of hopelessness that I feel that a lot of individuals are in.
Yep.
Not just from our political climate, not just from the economic, but I just think just from life. Life is life right now for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
What are you wanting individuals to take away from this film?
Yeah. I mean, I want exactly what you said. Hope in the face of loss, hope in the face of heartbreak, hope in the face of grief. Everybody goes through challenges. Everyone goes through loss. And, one of the things when we don't have hope, what happens? Our heart closes.
Yeah.
And
Deferred.
That, man,
it makes the heart.
that's it. Right. Exactly. And so for me, I want people to watch this movie and have that hope to say, okay, you know what? I can get through what I'm going through. I can open my heart to love. I can make myself a committee of one to commit to service and participating in the greater good of my family and my community and my job and my workplace. Like those are things that I can do.
Yeah.
Because so often what happens also is that when we don't make those commitments, we're like, well, love hasn't found me. And I say, well, if you look for love, then that means you're enhancing the absence of it. Because
Wow.
think about it. If you're looking for your keys, most of the time we don't look for our keys in peace.
No.
Where is it?
I'm tearing up everything.
Tearing up everything. Versus like, you know what? Instead of looking for love, I'm ready to receive it.
Oh,
And that changes your whole posture. I'm ready to receive it. So when those keys show up, I trust that they're going to find me at the right time. And until then, I'm going to continue to live my life. I'm going to be the love I want to see. I'm going to be of service. I'm going to be have a joyful spirit. And then I'm going to let love come into my life when it's ready. Yeah. That is a different position and posture that I think will produce more hope and a better life than saying, I'm looking for love and I haven't found it. So my hope is that people will get that from the movie. Ruth was not looking for love. Boaz was not looking for love. However, when love showed up, they were ready to identify it. They were ready to receive it. They were ready to work through it in order to find the common ground between each other.
Oh man, that's so good, brother. Man, wow, you just gave me something that I won't be chewing on the rest of the day, man. Looking forward is also enhancing the absence of it.
Exactly. So I don't tell anybody. I tell nobody, don't look for love. Just be ready to receive it.
Man, brothers, sisters, stop looking. Get out that man DMs. Let it find you. I didn't say it. That's what my brother said.
But hold on. But here's the thing. Here's the nuance there, right? You could be in that man's DMs with a receiving spirit and not a looking one. It's your mindset.
That's we have card terror moments over here, just here, bro. And that is a card terror moment right there, my friends. Listen, y'all, listen. He's an expert in this moment, so y'all need to listen.
Oh man, I love it.
Man, the actors,
Yes.
like, bro, gosh, man, Tyler, phenomenal, man.
Yes.
I mean, just phenomenal. Soraya,
Yes.
phenomenal.
Yes.
And of course, Felicia Rashad. I mean, childhood legend.
Yes.
I mean, everyone, man. How was it, and what space were you in when you were choosing how to fit into the character?
Yeah. For me, I got my start, working as an intern for Will Smith. And then I was an executive at Sony Pictures for almost 10 years and worked with him on everything from Pursuit of Happyness, 7 Pounds, Hancock, After Earth, the Karate Kid remake. And so what I learned from him is, always commit to the process. That goes for life, but also in terms of filmmaking, commit to the process. Because sometimes we want a film to be a certain thing, but the process is taking us a different direction. So when it comes to casting, I applied that. Okay, I'm committing to the process that I don't know who the right Boaz, Ruth, and Naomi should be. I don't know. So let me commit to the process of casting with our casting director, Leah Daniels Butler, our director of the film, Lana Brown. Let's all, Tyler Perry was, my producing partner on it. Let's all, come together and commit to a process that will reveal who is supposed to play these parts. So we started with a, casting search for Ruth and Boaz. We auditioned probably hundreds of guys, hundreds of women. And I had made a show with Soraya called Kingdom Business for BET. And I noticed that Soraya had not come in yet for the audition. And I remember reaching out to her. I'm like, hey, look, I want you to come in for this. I think this could be great. And I learned that she had some hesitancy because she just has always played like on Empire and even in our show, Kingdom Business that I did with BET, she plays a singer. And so she didn't want to sing on film again. And I just said, I know, but you trust me on this one. So she came in and she auditioned and I was like, okay, see, everybody agreed. That looks like Ruth to me. So then we were doing some chemistry reads with a few other actors for the Boaz part with Soraya. And at the 11th hour, Tyler Lepley sent in a self-tape audition. And we all watched it and said, that looks a little bit like Boaz to me. Yeah. And then we did a chemistry read with the two of them. And it was clear that they were Ruth and Boaz. And so that process got us to, the result. And then with Naomi, when we were trying to figure out who would play that, it was like, wait a minute, Felicia Rashad is, she represents that. She's the quintessential Naomi.
Yeah.
And so we sent her the script and she read it and she said, I'm in. We did her deal and that was it. So it was just really committing to the process and really seeing that these were the ones that were rising to the surface and they were just perfect for the parts.
And what I loved about it is that the individuals that you picked, man, as I was watching the film, bro, it was like reading the Bible.
Wow. That's deep.
It was like
that.
Tyler, because you would, his stature, like you would kind of envision this is what a Boaz looked like.
Yes.
In the field, and
yes.
And Soraya, it was just, and then too, Felicia Rashad is just amazing, man. The emotion that she brought, when you're dealing with loss, and I'm looking at all, I'm just like, man, and I'm watching the film, and I'm gonna say this, brothers. I cried. I listen.
We got you.
You got me, brother. You got me.
I love it.
Listen, I just put on a helmet for a living, and and would dare not cry. You may have cried when you lost, but you better not say, "Man, I was watching this movie, bro." About the TMI, man, bro. I watched it and I just couldn't help but think about what the story represented from the biblical terms into what is representing from a cinematic view.
Yeah.
Redemption.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? Redemption.
I do.
And you think about, right, that Boaz and Ruth were connected to Jesus' lineage.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that amazing?
You know,
It's
man,
amazing.
and man, bro, listen, I'm tell you, when I watched this, the symbolism with the wine. See, I think my brain is so layered, man.
Yeah.
The symbolic, if people, like, if they watch that and just really watch it, yeah, you got to watch it and really watch it closely, man.
Yeah.
Just so many messages in there, man. You guys, man, phenomenal job, like phenomenal.
Thank you.
Like,
I love it.
I'm happy you made that film
Mm.
because I think, DeVon, oftentimes when we're reading the Bible, people don't see themselves in the characters,
No, they don't. You're right.
and you made us see ourselves in the characters.
Mm. Wow.
Wow. I'm hoping that you take more stories from
Yeah.
the Bible and modernize it, because sometimes, man, the films become the Bible that we read.
Absolutely. 1000%. I mean, there are some people that will never open the Bible. They'll never go to church, but they will turn on Netflix. You know, Netflix has over 300 million subscribers. Netflix is in over 190 countries. And so to be able to take a movie like this with a message like this and put it on the world's most powerful streaming service, the impact of that, we can't even begin to quantify. So you are 1000% correct.
Man, I hope you feel proud, brother.
I do.
So as a black man to another black man, I'm proud of you, brother.
Thank you.
And I just couldn't be more happy, man, for the product that you guys put out, man.
Thank you.
And it couldn't be at a better timing.
Yeah, we need it.
Man, we needed that, man.
Yeah, yeah.
And when we needed a film that speaks to us,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
and that's what you did.
Wow. Thank
That's
you,
what
man.
you did, man. And I hope you feel proud, man.
I do. And your response to it is
Man.
amazing, because we were developing it. We didn't know, is this going to work? Are people going to connect to it? So everything you're saying, man, it makes me feel proud that it's actually working.
Man, and when you think about the film overall, and you think about the messaging, and you think about where you were personally, did it heal you?
Oh, man, absolutely. I mean, you know, without a doubt, it was a part of the healing process.
Yes.
And part of that healing process is that, you know, when you go through things and you're trying to rebuild your life,
Man, yes.
the fear is there. You know, will I ever be able to rebuild? You know, what would it look like? And because we don't know, right? A lot of times in the rebuild, you may not be able to see the picture. And in the absence of knowing what it's going to look like, there's a lot of fear, there's frustration, there's anxiety. So for me, you know, even professionally, you know, going through, you know, what I had to navigate in the season before I started making Ruth and Boaz, you know, I was afraid. You know, am I really going to have a career that's going to continue? Am I still going to be able to build, you know, what I thought I was building, you know, until things, you know, changed in my life. So as Ruth and Boaz, the development, you know, process happened. And I mean, I just came up with this idea in March of last year. We started prep in August of last year. We finished the movie in October of last year, and now the movie's out. So to be able to go from, you know, an idea to execution in less than a year is something that, you know, is not done. But the way that it was able to happen was for me to acknowledge, here's the pain I'm in, here's how I'm feeling, yet I'm still going to access the faith. I'm still going to have faith that this can happen.
Man.
I'm still going to have faith that, you know, this is a good idea. I'm going to have faith that we can get this done in record time. I'm going to have faith that the right actors are going to show up. I'm going to have faith that the right director is going to show up. I'm going to have faith this movie's going to work. And so when we're rebuilding, the essence of what we need to rebuild our life is faith. And faith isn't just an intellectual construct. It actually shows up in our actions. That's why it says faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
But faith with works is alive. So if we continue to have faith that, you know what, I might be hurting today, but I'm still going to go to therapy. I might be hurting today, but I'm still going to, you know, apply for the job. I might be hurting today, but I'm still going to commit to the process of rebuilding. So for me, making those commitments before anything was rebuilt, before there was even any redemption on the horizon, making those decisions by faith and then moving in faith really was a big part of my healing process. So when you see this film, for me, I watched it, I watched it multiple times. And even though I made the film, even though I produced the film, I still get emotional about it because I know what this means. That God has not forgotten about us. God sees us right where we are when we are.
Yeah.
And this process of finding the right purpose, the right love at the right time, that to me, I watch the film and I just get emotional because I know what I was going through, and to be in this moment and to be able to say, I'm experiencing redemption. I'm experiencing, the rebuild in the most beautiful, powerful way. It just lets me know that God is real, love wins, and faith works, man.
Man, oh man. Say that again.
God is real, love wins, and faith works.
Man.
Yeah.
And from all that you said, what I heard is when I first met you, produced by faith.
Yeah. Amen.
And that was DeVon. Was that your
First
first
book?
book?
Yeah.
First book, produced by faith. Listen, go get that book because I mean, this you embody that, and just to see that is still your foundation.
Yeah.
Produced by faith. When you're looking for the right actors, you're looking for the right producers and the right team. It's produced by faith, man.
Yeah.
And I think what people are going to get from this episode, man, it's going to be so life enriching for them, man. To enrich their life, to give them the hope, to give them the inspiration, but then the belief that they need to move forward and whatever wherever they are in that journey, whether it's therapy, whether it's navigating a breakup, whether it's navigating grief, a loss of a loved one, the loss of a career. I just think, man, this film beyond relationally is going to be able to speak to so many people where they are in life, because sometimes loss can really make you feel like, well, maybe I'm not fit.
Right. Whew. But what's so important, what you just said is so correct, in that go through loss and then the narrative, internal narrative, maybe I'm not fit. That's the area that needs to be rewritten.
Yes.
Right? Because if we believe I'm not fit, I'm not worthy, I'm not going to try again, then what happens is, going back to what we were talking about earlier, it's like then your losses win.
Yeah.
Because you give them more focus than you give your future. So it's like, okay, I might be hurting today, but I'm not going to let myself believe that I'm not fit for love. I am healing from what I went through, but I am going to stay open to love. I am lovable. I can't wait to love again. You got to rewrite that inner talk in order for the story to come out the way you need it in your life.
Man. Listen, I hope you have taken something from this conversation. You've heard DeVon talk about, as he just said, we have to change our inner dialogue. What are you saying to yourself? Personally, again, y'all know here, I love to be transparent. Personally, as someone who's experienced loss in a child, someone who's had to navigate the grief of that, I often have said, well, maybe I'm not fit to be a father. And not because I don't think that I have the ability, but because loss had me thinking that maybe it's not for me.
Yeah.
And what DeVon is saying, it's not that it's not for you. And it's not that you need a different outcome. Maybe we need a different outlook.
There it is. That's dope. That's, man.
And that's what we need.
So good.
And so I want to encourage you, go watch Ruth and Boaz. If you have Netflix, and I know y'all had it because y'all watched the fight last weekend. So please go out and support this film. This is an amazing film. Let's blow the streaming numbers up. Let's support our brother. Let's support our friend. And let's support this story. And what I love what you did is you took a biblical story and you made it for us.
Yeah.
And when I say us, I'm not just talking just us people of colors, but he made this film for people who are looking to be restored. Because it's a story that you can find restoration and you can be, redeemed. And that's what I love about. I've always been a fan of your work because I've always admired your ability to balance all of the many different things. You and Tyler and Bishop Jakes, and especially being able to navigate faith-based and being able to work in the marketplace and all those different things. Because when I, being a son of the pastor, the first thing I said, brother, I don't want to be in the pulpit.
Right.
But what you did is you made what you do in a film room your pulpit.
There it is.
Because you don't have to be behind the podium to preach.
Right. Right.
You're preaching through storytelling.
1000%. And it's a blessing to be able to, one, have the opportunity, but, two, to have made that commitment. We're here, right? But I started this journey when I was 18 years old. And it's been a long time of just showing up, learning the craft, how to tell stories, so that when I'm telling a story, when I'm delivering a message, in the form of a film, right? That yes, that is, that's like one of the biggest pulpits in life.
Yes.
Yet it's still, when anybody watches it, they can get the message, but they also can enjoy the movie. Sometimes it's like if the movie is about a message, it doesn't resonate because people aren't connected to the story. So it's like the message is going to work if it's connected to a story that's well developed and executed.
Yes.
Man.
Beautifully done, brother.
Thank you, Doc.
As we close out, I always ask every guest one question. And that question is, what is healing for you?
Healing for me is first acknowledging the hurt.
That's good.
Right? Because, it's like, how can we heal from something that we don't acknowledge? So healing is like, okay, I'm going to acknowledge the hurt. And then I am going to, by faith, believe that what's hurting me today, one day will not hurt me tomorrow. And I will do the work required for that statement to become a reality. And that work may be therapy, it may be writing, it may be journaling, it may be, going to church, praying, reading the word. I mean, there's so many things that, I personally have used in my healing journey, but it starts with that. That's what healing is to me. Healing fundamentally is being whole. Doesn't mean you don't have scars.
Yeah.
Right? I got scars.
Yeah.
But I can look at the scar and say, wow, that's no longer a wound.
Woo. No longer a wound. Listen, he's a preacher too, y'all. So the brother is multifaceted. So y'all look at him like, so don't be alarmed that he's dropping these gems. The brother's anointed. Man, thank you.
Thank you, dog. Thank you, man. Dr. J. Appreciate you, man.
This was amazing, man. You just helped me, man, on so many levels, man.
Wow.
Thank you. And thank you for sharing space with the Just Heal audience, man. They love these conversations. And I think more importantly, they're going to love the body of work that you just produced and the message behind it, man. Yeah. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, dog. Man, I appreciate you.
Listen, you have just heard the amazing DeVon Franklin, film producer of Ruth and Boaz. Please go out and support this film. It's on Netflix, September 26th.
September 26th.
September 26th is also my father's birthday.
Oh.
So, yeah. So, I'm excited to see this film, and will tell my pops, because he don't watch TV, but he does watch Netflix.
There you go. Celebrate his birthday with Ruth Boaz.
Yeah, tell him to go watch this film.
Yeah.
Continue your healing journey, continue building community, because without community, it is challenging to heal, and you can't heal alone. And remember, until next time, healing is a journey and wholeness is the destination.
I just want to heal in a world of fake. Let's try being something real.